difference of opinions. Yeah, there we go.
Why?
What? Oh, have you watched that Stone Cold session with Jericho?
No.
Mm, pretty cool.
Popping up as live.
Are you live? Live on.
Oh. All right. Here we go.
All right. No,
It's been a while. It's been a minute. Welcome
Yeah.
back to HPW Wrestling. We're here to talk about WrestleMania 37 and a week in wrestling. How's it going, Matt? If you had to grade the show, what would you grade the whole show, day one and day two?
Day one, I give it a solid. I give it a solid B plus, low A minus. I think it was definitely better than night two, in my opinion. It was just a lot more. The matches just seemed like they meant more in night one than they did night two.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree. I agree. Night two is probably. I'm looking over the matches. In my opinion, fell short. I would say
Well,
C.
it had all the substance to be an amazing night two, but it just didn't click as much as I would like.
100% agree. It wasn't like it was almost like they were filling in, and it was unreal in my opinion. So,
well, that the finish there was a couple finishes that were changed at the very last minute, but and that's that night on night two,
right.
and we'll get to that later.
So let's roll into it. So WrestleMania 37, they broke it up into two nights. Saturday it was down at Randall Stadium in Tampa Bay.
Raymond James Stadium.
Raymond, yeah, down in Tampa Bay, Florida, my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but my home state. Kind of bummed out because last year we were supposed to go. I was supposed to go to WrestleCon, and all of a sudden this pandemic came through and screwed all that all up. But it was kind of bitter watching it because I was like, man, oh well. But we'll see. I'm eventually going to get to that. Get to WrestleMania. I hope. It's in Dallas next year, so maybe next year. They broke it down in two nights. I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, there's a lot to do, but I think breaking it down into two nights was what screwed it all up because night two sucked. Actually, it was, in my opinion. But night one, it started out with the Bobby Lashley Drew McIntyre match.
Here's my thoughts on Bobby Lashley as a professional wrestler. He is a poor man's version of Brock Lesnar. I don't. He, the only difference is Brock, when he was champion, you never saw him. Now
Right.
you see Bobby Lashley, who cannot cut a promo.
Right.
That's why he's got MVP. And really, I don't know. I guess it's what it is because Lashley is the heel.
Right. I agree.
I'm not supposed to like him, because he'd be my boy Drew. But I don't know. To me, to me it doesn't make sense why they would. I mean, Drew McIntyre should have had his WrestleMania moment in front of people.
Right.
and to not get the pop that he deserves, it kind of sucks. But
right, and I agree. I can't. I don't like wrestlers. I don't like them when they have to hide behind a person that can talk on the mic. MVP can talk, and Lashley can't. How can you be a top tier guy if you can't talk on the mic? You watch Tough Enough back in the day, and one of the things they had to do is be able to cut a promo. Those that couldn't cut promos didn't belong, didn't stay, and Bobby Lashley couldn't hold his own shorts when he had Lana. He couldn't hold his own shorts when he had anybody. You know what I'm saying? They tried gimmicks, and it doesn't work. And so now you're gonna get this guy MVP, who, in my opinion, is useless. You're gonna get him in a stable with the Hurt Business, which is
that's not even that's done, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, and then on Monday, so I'm so confused. So then you're going to keep the belt on this guy. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. Where you could have Drew McIntyre go against someone else, go against so many other people, and it's just, I think they're wrong. And to finish the match, I asked myself when I first started watching the match, why is this match number 1 on the night? The finish sucked.
Well, I will tell you why it's number 1 on the card and not the main event. The main event, they gave it to which is it's historic as the first women's main event, first women's one-on-one match, the main event of WrestleMania. It's also the first time 2 African American women wrestled for the championship at WrestleMania on the main event. A lot of significance, and I'm glad that Vince booked that. But Bobby and Drew, which was an absolute slugfest, should have been further down in the card, in my opinion. I think the second match was the tag team turmoil.
Yeah.
Which wasn't even a tag team turmoil match. That's called a tag team gauntlet match. But anyway, I would have led with that and then push them down towards the later end of the card. But at the same time, you lead off with that. That's a big match to start with, and people will be thinking about that match while these other ones are going on.
Right. And I've talked to several wrestlers out there, like Tilly Willie, C.W. Anderson, a couple of ECW guys. They tell you that the one thing they don't like about WWE or WWF, unlike ECW, Vince McMahon is in that referee's ear all the time. Okay, now I know. Now that I know that from talking to those guys, I couldn't help but wonder. That match was a slugfest. It was a lot of action. Everything was going, and then to finish the match with Drew McIntyre getting distracted by MVP somehow, and then the Hurt Lock goes on him. That to me was a dumb finish. And I was like, okay, so that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So therefore, yep, that's why that it belongs in the beginning of the night. Other than that turmoil match.
I don't understand. I don't think that was supposed to be the ending of the match. I really don't.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if Vince said, "Hey guys, let's end it now." Boom. I don't know. I just was I didn't like that match, and it was just.
Going back to what you said before we even started talking about that, about the WrestleMania feel. It felt like WrestleMania, but at the same time, it didn't. Simple, in my opinion, and I know we'll never see him at Mania again, but not having a Taker match,
right?
Not having those kind of things. It's been something that we've seen for the last 25 years, and it's like, all right,
Right. I will say this as I sit in my chair watching the first night. As I was pumped because, again, we got to watch live crowds instead of video screens. That was exciting for me as a fan. I was like, yeah, this is cool, yeah, and that was awesome. So, which I think leads me to a second match. Couldn't help but notice that one of those tag team, one of the females, slipped and fell on her fanny. That was funny.
She also later, I don't know if you noticed, she had two women in that match had wardrobe malfunctions that happened.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't pay attention.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway because WWE was able to black out the screen before anything major happened. It was definitely two nip slips from Mella had one, and so did Mandy Rose, I believe. But anyway, the right team won that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen the Riot Squad. I love their Harlequin gear. They're fun a duo to watch.
I agree. But I agree. The right team won though, for sure.
Tamina got a huge pop when she did it, the Superfly off the top there to win.
Yeah,
that was really cool to see. It kind of like pay a homage to her dad,
right,
Jimmy.
I like that. Yeah, but that was basically the huge pop of that night was paying her dad that the respect that he deserves. But that match was, in my opinion, should have been number one match, and then bumped the Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley down to 1 or 2. So with that, we'll skip over that into Cesaro defeating Seth Rollins. Now that, to me, I was shocked. I was like, wow.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they start pushing Cesaro more.
Yeah.
He might be the guy to go in and beat Lashley. Give him the strap. Or Money in the Bank's coming up in about a month or two, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he ends up winning that and actually cashing it in.
But what are you gonna do with Seth? To me, they brought Seth back for WrestleMania, and then they haven't used him really well at all though since he's been back. And I was confused because there's got to be something. He's a great talent. He brings in the money, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, I think he's taken a lesser role. I think he's gonna be one of those over in NXT, not NXT. One of those guys over in AEW, like a Cody Rhodes, that he's gonna help develop the brand and make him better, and get these guys over, and spend time to help these guys get better and build his brand, basically, because he's a company man. He's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
Seth Rollins is going to be WWE until he retires from pro wrestling.
Right.
But I was funny. I was sitting there watching the match, and I was just building and building, and I turned to Andrew and I said, "All right, now listen. This is what's going to happen." Because he's getting ready to get that curb stomp. I said, he's going to jump for the curb stomp, and Cesaro's going to nail him with that uppercut thing. And, well, that happened.
Right.
And it's like, but that was the most predictable part of the match. And the rest of the match, it was awesome.
How many spins did he get? Did he finish with 13 or 15 or something like that?
Well, if he did the one with no hands, he did, I think, 10. And then when he did the round thing, he had wasn't it close to 20?
Yeah, something like that. One of the announcers were counting. I was like, no, okay.
I'm getting dizzy just watching it, but
right. So I don't know. I mean, I can see where you're going with Cesaro, pushing him. Again, I never liked Cesaro because I think he came up with, wasn't it? He was with Sheamus for a while.
Yeah, he was the Bard. He
I didn't like that gimmick. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
So
before that he was with Tyson Kidd.
yeah, I guess I'm not really a Seth Rollins fan, but I just thought I was expecting them to push him back since he's bad. Since he's back, I thought they'd push him, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, so I think Cesaro's gonna at least get a Intercontinental run, hopefully. Or no, he's not. Let's see, that's the U.S. Championship. That's Matt Riddle. No, Matt Riddle lost that one.
Yeah, he lost. So um, talking about predictions, predictable. If anybody thought the New Day was going to beat AJ Styles and Omos, come on. You don't put an 8-foot giant, oh not 8 foot, but 7 foot something, and expect him to lose. So, Raw Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Omos defeat the New Day. That was a good match. But you knew that once that big dude got in, it was over.
I don't think it was all that great.
No,
I
it had the typical Kofi Kingston, the high flying stuff, and the AJ Styles and his stuff. But overall, the match was not the best, no. But because you knew what you just sat there going, okay, when's Omos going to get in and it'll be done.
Yeah, once Omos got in, it was you could hear AJ shouting stuff to like, yeah, set him up, do this, do that, and that's gonna turn into Omos and AJ further or later on down the road having their own deal.
Yeah, they're gonna turn on. Someone's gonna turn on someone.
Yeah.
So, but that's that one. Steel cage match: Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Braun Strowman won that.
That was a fun match. Huh? That was fun. Shane, being 51 years old, can move.
I can move.
Not like that.
Probably not. But I don't know. I didn't.
You could do coast to coast off the top ropes.
Nope. That storyline leading up to that match was stupid as hell.
Well, anti-bullying.
I mean, I didn't like it. I was like, it was about 3 weeks too long for me.
It was anti-bullying.
Huh?
It was anti-bullying.
There you go. It was. And that's all I gotta say about that. I liked how Braun Strowman ripped apart the cage.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool. Braun Strowman getting on that top of that damn cage. I was like, what? I thought he was gonna fall.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, dude. I'm sorry, big man like us to climb up on that stage like that and climb up upon this top. No, that takes a lot of skill.
I tell you what, though, Shane takes a bump.
Yeah,
Shane can take a heck of a bump. Yeah,
Now we won't see Shane McMahon until next November.
No, he'll be back for SummerSlam probably.
Think SummerSlam. But one of my favorite matches, just because the entrance was awesome, and I like what they're doing with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, but they finally put them two morons in their place and beat Miz and Morrison. Maybe now Miz can go back to TV and be TV only, and Morrison can retire. I talked to you earlier in the week. You disagree, but I'm just gonna throw my statement out there, and you can rip it apart. I don't care what anybody says about. I mean, AEW is doing it with Mike Tyson right now. WWE is doing it with Bad Bunny. That man is talented. He put together some moves, and true, he was working with one of the best with Miz and Morrison. They're seasoned to help him through those moves, but some of those moves were incredible, man. Can't say they weren't.
think he's hot garbage. To be completely honest with you,
I don't think you like the music, bro.
He is the drizzling shit. He sucks. I can't stand Bad Bunny.
You just don't like the music.
I don't like him.
Why, bro?
He's a joke.
Okay.
He.
All right, that's your opinion, man. That's what this show's about. It's your opinion, but
people are saying, well, he's the best celebrity that's ever came through WWE, and like, did we forget that we had drawing a blank on his name, the kicker in NXT.
He was okay.
Pat
McAfee, yeah.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. He is the best celebrity wrestler that we've ever seen in WWE.
McAfee wasn't getting what he. I don't know, man. Bad Bunny did some
Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny couldn't wrestle a 15-minute match with a singles match. He couldn't do that. He just can't. He couldn't.
I don't know.
And I hope we don't get to see it, because I think it'll be absolutely horrible. There's just nothing good about that. Nothing.
He put on a show.
He did one good move.
There's about four or five good moves. 3 or 4 in the ring.
He can't throw a punch.
He did 3 or 4 in the ring, and then he did that one outside the ring. Man, that was impressive.
And that is a banned move. He wasn't. That's a move that Vince actually had banned at one point. But those punches he threw.
Yeah.
Those punches he threw, garbage.
Well, you should have seen the punches Mike Tyson threw on AEW last night.
When I read that Mike Tyson was going to be active in that on that show, no interest.
But Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, they beat the Miz and John Morrison. You expected that. They weren't going to give Morrison and Miz the win. Thankfully, can't stand them too. And the man of the night, Bad Bunny. He made his debut. I don't know. Maybe we won't see him. Maybe we probably shouldn't see him. But Damian Priest is one hell of a. He's huge, man.
He's one of those guys. He used to be in the Indies, Punishment Martinez, and
gotcha.
He's been around for a good little bit, and he's a good worker.
Yeah. So then we got down to the final match of the night. Bianca Belair defeating Sasha Banks. The feel of that match was amazing. Belair and Banks' emotions were just off the chain at the beginning. You just stand there, looking, and they were like awed by the reception they got from the crowd, I think, and being on the main stage.
The right person won. They're pushing towards a youth movement. We'll talk about that a little bit later, because you'll see what I'm talking about.
What movement?
It's kind of a youth movement.
Okay.
Like the younger generation.
Yeah.
The only older champion they have now, I think, is Lashley.
Yeah.
But hey, did we? Oh yeah, Big E was the second night. Never
right.
Mind.
So.
But yeah, the one spot that really stands out, the most is the finish to me. The whole hair whip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Sasha's side.
That left a mark, man.
It looked like it almost acted like a whip.
Yeah.
You hear that? Sliced her.
You hear it?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Mac.
But no, that match was they put all on the line, man. They were high flying. They did all the moves they had to do. The hair whips, the meanness. It was all of what a final match should have in it, unlike night 2. So
it had a big fight feel to it.
right, big fight feel to it. I think the right person won. I think you're right. I think they're bringing up the new generation. I only wanted to see, maybe I was hoping, because I don't know, I was hoping to see Ronda Rousey or um, the man come back.
Well, there's talks that they're gonna be back here in the foreseeable future. That they're gonna both make their returns here in the next year, like in the
Gotcha.
next in 20, sometime in 2021. You'll see them both back in the ring.
Right, so I would give night one probably a B plus.
B
That was
plus,
good.
low A minus, I think.
Yeah, I thought that show was good. I thought for once they put a pay per view on that was decent. So until I watched night two.
Well, night two, it had moments, but it didn't. The show as a whole didn't really do much for me.
Right. So I guess we'll jump right into night two. We could probably talk a lot about the first match: Randy Orton defeating the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
Right person won, but the match was not what I wanted.
Now, first of all,
I really do like the Alexa Bliss character. I love the creepy little girl.
Right.
Character.
It should have been the Randy Orton defeated Bo Dallas match, but that obviously was not Bray Wyatt. You can see pictures if you know Bray Wyatt's tattoos on his arm. They weren't the same. Bray Wyatt's not that thin, not that tall. It was bad. It was
that makes sense now that it would be like that because that they had that red they had the red light match going.
So Bray Wyatt wasn't there. It was Bo Dallas, in my opinion. I think they're gonna set up a Bo Dallas or Bray Wyatt versus the Fiend. That's a great way to do it. So now we got two people that can play the Fiend. Bo Dallas and Bray. I don't like that.
Like Undertaker versus Undertaker.
I don't like that idea. Yeah, I thought that was stupid as hell, and it's gonna be the same thing. I guess I got to say with that, come on WWE, get original, do something different.
Here's the thing, and because I've listened to a lot of, like, I listened to Jim Cornette, I listened to Eric Bischoff stuff, I listened to multiple wrestling podcasts, and people ask why not be original, and all the guys that host these shows are saying it's harder than you think it is. It's he says, and every storyline that you can think of, it's been done before in some way, shape, or form. Right. He said there will never be an absolutely original storyline.
But yeah, I don't know.
Because every character is based off of someone else's character, right. and
So do you think somewhere down the line you'll see Alexa Bliss joining Randy Orton?
No.
No?
They have
that was obviously that was a heel turn though.
Well, I think you're gonna see a new character coming along. And I think Alexa's going to gravitate towards that person.
Gotcha.
But because she has a new friend. I don't know if you watched Raw or not.
That was stupid.
That was a little creepy.
Then you got the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Oh My Whole Jax and Shayna Baszler versus defeated Tamina and Natalya.
Well, that match is what it was.
That was.
That's exactly what it was. It just was.
So the first two matches are, in my opinion, are
hot garbage.
Yeah, basically.
I
Kevin
mean,
Owens defeated Sami Zayn. Again, a
match of
hot
the
garbage
night.
match.
Match of the night.
Really?
Those guys tore the house down, and the fact that Logan Paul got stunned at the end.
Yeah, that was a good ending.
That kid is a putz. He needs to just stay off YouTube. So Logan Paul, screw you. I hate you. I'm glad that Kevin Owens stunned your ass. You
I
suck.
like the ending. I like Logan Paul.
He's a putz.
I like his YouTube. You know, he does great things. His brother does great things.
What? He goes to China and digs up dead people. Putz.
He's making more money than you and I put together, bro.
I don't play. I don't do it for the money.
So I'm just saying. He
I'm
has a good thing going, bro.
He's a very good self promoter, is what he is.
C plus at best for that match.
Match of the night.
I really hated night 2. United States champion Sheamus versus Riddle, defeated Riddle.
Should have kept it on Riddle, to be honest with you.
I agree. I
mean,
you could put night 2 on a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown show, but I was not impressed with that one either.
No. Big E versus Apollo, is that the next one?
Yes.
Okay. You have what is called a Nigerian drum match.
Yeah.
How come I did not hear any drums? Nor did anyone get hit by a drum? The drums were just sitting there.
Yep. And
why call it?
Who was that big dude that came at the end?
That's the guy, Raw Underground.
Yes. Okay, I remember that. Yes.
That's
He's
the guy
huge.
who beat everyone up in the Underground.
Yes.
But seriously, it's a Nigerian drum match.
We don't have no drums.
I see drums. I see them in the background.
Yep.
I mean, don't tell me you couldn't Vince couldn't find
drums.
20 random African Americans or whatever Nigerians to
the drums.
Yeah,
go to Disney World. Go to Disney World. Got some of them. Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka. You knew that was coming.
Again, youth movement.
Yep.
Apollo Crews, new champion.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley, she's coming from NXT new.
They're saying Big E's gonna go challenge now that he lost the title. He's gonna go challenge Reigns or Lashley. Yeah.
Well, actually, it'd be it'd be over on Roman.
Yeah.
Well,
no, yeah. So Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka. They're a lot of action in that match. But again, you knew who was gonna win. So the last match.
Okay.
Roman Reigns defeated Edge and Daniel Bryan. Why the hell do you bring Bryan into a match and Edge out of retirement, hype it all up to have a screwed up ending like they had?
Well, originally the plan for Edge was to do a complete year program with Randy. It was supposed to be Randy and Edge pretty much every other. And at one point, Edge was supposed to. Okay, we'll rewind back to when Orton when Edge got hurt the last time with Orton. If you noticed, they dropped it right there. Went with the whole thing with his program with Drew McIntyre. Now, I guess what was suggested is they were going to go to Orton was going to beat McIntyre, and then Edge was going to beat Orton and have a run.
Yeah.
But since Edge was hurt so badly, his return match was the Rumble.
Yep.
So they had to do something different. And then Vince loves long-term storylines. He loves that stuff. Eats it up. So
It's easy.
the only reason Edge was in that match was because was it 10 years ago to the day on Royal Rumble, he had to give up his, or no, he won the championship for the last time. And then at Mania, it was 11 years ago to the day that he had to relinquish the title. So it was kind of one of those things. My question is, if they weren't going to give him the title, then why in the absolute hell did they bring him back? Let him win the Rumble, especially winning it from the number 1 spot. Why?
Right. Well, yeah.
Why? But they did the right thing in the end game. They kept it on the strong man. They kept it on a guy who obviously, you can tell night one when they all came out to thank the crowd for being there. If you saw who was, you had Vince up front in the center. You had Steph and Triple H to his left. You had directly behind him to his right was Roman in a suit.
Right.
That's Vince's man. That's Vince's new Cena. Vince loves Roman Reigns. He loves him.
And I'm not gonna say anything. And that character they have going, that's amazing. That's a great character. So to take it off, I was asking myself, why would you take it off? How could you take it off of him and give it to Daniel Bryan and Edge? Then what are you gonna do with him? I remember talking to you. What are you gonna do? So there's no way they could have took it off of him, because you would have had Roman Reigns with nothing, and you can't do that.
I don't know who on that roster, because if they come in and let Big E have it, I mean, come on, no, I don't see Roman. I see Roman being champ for quite a while.
Right, I do.
Head
of the table, yep.
It would take someone like a Brock Lesnar to come in and beat him.
Well, they set it up for WrestleMania Backlash, because on Friday, I'm going to tell you this, on Friday, you're going to have Edge in the ring to start the show, complaining that his shoulders, he was on top of on top of Daniel Bryan, pinning him, so he should have got the win because he was the one that was on top of Daniel Bryan first. And that's the angle they're going to go with. And that's how you're going to set up WrestleMania Backlash, Edge versus Reigns, a month from now.
I mean, I hope they don't do that, but
I think they will. Because if you look at the picture, Edge is on top of Bryan, and on top of him was Roman Reigns. So the first one to pin him was Edge.
At least Roman won without having in a non-submission.
Yeah.
I hate submission endings.
Right. I like Jey Uso's and involvement. I like the Usos.
Well,
so
I mean, could this be a thing? We haven't seen Jimmy.
No, not yet.
I mean, is Jimmy gonna come back? And I don't know.
So that's WrestleMania. I thought night 2 could have been on a Raw or SmackDown show.
Well, there's certain spots that were really good, but
I'll be honest with you, Matt. Watching wrestling this week, the shows, Raw, AEW, didn't watch much of NXT. I asked myself, why do I waste my time? I'm a Sting man, dude. I really am. But that segment on AEW sucked. The only thing they got AEW has going for them now, in my opinion, is Omega. I am so happy to see the. I'm surprised I'm saying this. I love the new Young Bucks. They joined Kenny Omega last week. It's not. It's I don't want to say it's garbage, but it's like. I'm not saying it's a waste of my time either, but I'm like,
I will say it's getting really hard to watch.
yes, really hard to watch. I'm like, why? Because back in the day, I mean, maybe because back in the day you had you didn't have 4 shows on in a week. You know what I'm saying?
You had your Monday Night Raw, and that's it.
That's it.
You know, and then and Raw being 3 hours is just too much.
Too much. Yep, just too much. And you have now you have Raw. I looked at somebody's streaming thing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Then on a pay-per-view week, there's Sunday. So that's 5 out of 7 days.
Yeah.
That's just too much. Too much. You know, so 4 out of the 5 days they have stuff. You know, you got the Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown. Thursday you have nothing. But you know, I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. It's just the stories, the amount of stuff, the process. It's a lot, and I think a lot of people are missing a lot because it's not. I don't know. It's almost not fun anymore. I used to be amped up when I had to watch a Saturday night main event, you know, or a Raw or a pay-per-view that I couldn't watch because I didn't have a satellite, you know. 4 nights of wrestling in a week. I'm surprised to say this. 4 nights of wrestling in a week. That's a lot of stuff. And I think that's why the quality of wrestling shows is going downhill. That's just my opinion.
You even have I don't know what night is TNA on. Are they on a Thursday? I mean, we might even have it.
Might be on a Thursday. Then you have ROH. You know, I don't know.
On Saturdays, and yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, that's just a rant. We got hit the mark. So yeah. WrestleMania review.
But we'll try to be back.
I don't know.
Maybe well, I'll give you a call and we'll figure out what we want to do for next week's show.
All right.
So we'll see you next time.
See you guys next time.